Good after morning, folks. Mike Wells, your World Explorer. Today is November the 11th, 2024, and we're looking at our Tainung 64 sweet potatoes, and they're ready for harvest. So all we need are some clippers, a small shovel, larger shovel, some gloves, and we'll begin by taking off this little fence here. We're just going to tear it out of there. Pulled out some tubers. So if you look here, this is a tuber. This isn't really what we want to see. What we want to see is in here. So we're going to start by digging. Let's see what our harvest is. Now, we've done experiments in the past where we've grown a little bit out in the sun and we grew some in the shade. Sun experiment was better than the shade experiment. But now we should have some nice sweet potatoes under here. If we don't, well, then it's either this grow medium is bad or the regeneration from the previous vines is always less and less every year. So let's look. Here's a little tuber here, but it has some worms. So we're not really interested in these kinds of tubers. What we want are these, but much bigger. So this harvest so far is not looking very promising. However, this grow medium looks really nutrient rich. So hopefully we start to be able to pluck some big tubers out. These have been growing since November of last year. So we should have something in here that's worth talking about. Not seeing anything yet, folks. Not seeing it. It's looking pretty bleak. I'm wondering where all the tubers are. There should be tubers everywhere. There's your big sweet potato. So I've been told that when you grow a new vine from the actual sweet potato itself, that will produce big tubers. So if I grew a little vine off of this, then that vine would produce really big tubers. But now if I take the vines that grew off of the tubers, or not off of the tubers, but the vines that grew from vines, so vine cuttings, I grow those, they don't produce as large of tubers, and that is actually proving in this so far to be the case, because these tubers that I'm seeing here look like tubes. They're not very impressive. So in our learning experiences, there's a lot of trial and error that comes into play when it comes to growing and gardening and all that fun stuff. I remember the first year I had received, I'm pretty sure they were the vine cuttings, and that's when I was able to grow the biggest sweet potatoes. See, these aren't really, that's not impressive. That's nothing. I can't survive on that. So hopefully somewhere in here there's going to be a very big tuber. I only need a few really big ones. Now, I've gotten reports from friends that they put their sweet potatoes. See, this is not what we're looking for. This is horrible. So I've gotten reports from friends who have grown sweet potatoes from slips that grew off of the actual sweet potato itself, from these sweet potatoes, that they had a nutrient-rich soil, which they bought from like Home Depot, and they grew the sweet potatoes in that nutrient-rich soil and ended up with absolutely massive tubers. So that's something that I am interested in. Now, I've been trying to get away with being able to produce my own soil, not have to buy a bunch of expensive soil from Home Depot. Yeah, see, this isn't gonna work. That's not what we're looking for. I've been trying to get away with having a very low cost input. There's always gonna be the time input. You can't avoid that. See this thing? It's not a prized sweet potato. So there's always going to be the time input, but if you get no yield, which is what it's looking like here, then it's a waste of time, clearly. So we're learning some things that we don't want to do going forward. We're learning a really hard lesson. When they say it grows tubers, they really mean it. That is a tubular tube. This is a garbage yield so far, folks. Not impressive. Very disheartening, because I was hoping to be able to get some sweet potatoes, but they look like they didn't want to grow. Very disheartening. So going forward, what I might do is I might throw these tubers back in the soil. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research to figure out what went wrong here, because I'm not seeing a bunch of sweet potatoes. I'm seeing a bunch of tubes. So I'm looking here. We saw the vines. Look how big the vines got. They should have been in full production. Maybe it's the grow medium. I don't know. I really don't know right now, because this grow medium worked fine for us before. Yeah, we're not running into any big sweet potatoes at all. There's not even a nodule. This is the worst I've ever seen. That's nothing. Very disheartening. Now, I don't believe in using fertilizers or any of that stuff. I want to be able to figure this out without having to go that route. Yeah, there's like no yield unless they went deeper into the ground and I'm not aware. That's not a sweet potato, folks. That's not a sweet potato. That's the closest thing to a sweet potato we've found so far. This is a horrendous situation. Well, I was hoping to be able to have a yield for Thanksgiving, but instead of having a yield, I'm gonna have to get sweet potatoes from the grocery store. Granted, they're really cheap at the grocery store. I just like the idea of growing it and eating what we've grown. So I'm just gonna keep digging. Hopefully we find at least one real tuber to talk about. Just nothing. This is the best looking tuber so far, and it's got a little bit of a worm that ate into it. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I see something here. There's something. We want stuff like that, but much fatter. My strategy going forward has to be different. So what I'm gonna do is cure these tubers a little bit and actually try to sprout some slips off of them. I'm not gonna be selling these this year on eBay because I need everything that I can get. I gotta figure out where the problem is, where we went wrong. We had a great year of rain. I barely ever had to water because there was so much water. This soil should have plenty of nutrients. That should not be the issue here. Maybe they got too much direct sunlight. I don't know. It's really tough to say. There's just so many variables that go into play. All right, I just ran into a root from our olive tree. That's a table olive. Now there's the idea too that the more generations you grow off of the same crops, the more adapted they are. But if this is what adaptation looks like, well, this is the wrong direction. Look at this. This thing grew all the way down in here. I mean, what is that? whatever. It's not the happiest day, but you know what? I gotta be grateful. We had the hurricane earlier this year, last month, and I didn't get any damage. Maybe that's it. Maybe the hurricane messed up the growing. I don't know. There's got to be a huge science to it that I'm just unaware of. Maybe there wasn't enough nitrogen in the soil. Okay, so wait a minute. So I'm seeing the remnant of a big tuber. So is it possible these grew big tubers and then they all got eaten by insects? That's always a possibility. But right now we're in the unknown. I haven't found one worthy tuber. Haven't found one. Wait a minute. There's something worth talking about a little bit. Even so, it's got bug holes in it, which means it sat out here too long. You gotta hand it to the farmers, you know, they figure stuff out and they take the risks, and they imagine a whole field like this, huh? You wouldn't have any income if you were a farmer. So the whole rest of this is probably nothing. You got weird looking tubers like that. Oh wow, there's a weird snake looking thing. Folks, that was strange. What kind of a snake is that? That's a weird snake. Oh man, that thing is crazy. Oh yeah, he's weird looking. Oh, he's in there. Oh, yeah, see, this was a good tuber, but it sat too long underground, so. Well, whatever, we tried. I'm out here chasing snakes, and I like to document the failures too, because you think you're in a recipe for success, and you're like, oh yeah, this is can't possibly go wrong here. Oh, you went way wrong. Something went way wrong, because this is not normal. Look, man, it's horrible. Yeah, it's just, we did not have good luck this year. This is really weird. There's nothing to talk about. There's no amazing yield, no big tubers to brag about. You got these weird dwarf looking, tubular looking tubers. You got tubies. So yeah, these Tainung 64 sweet potatoes are supposed to do well in Florida, but I have yet to witness this. I mean, when I was growing them in the sugar sand, they did better than this. This is horrendous. This is unbelievable. So anyhow, what I'm gonna do going forward. Right now I'm just gonna tentatively shove these vines. I'm gonna clip them up a little bit. I'll show you. I'll clip them into like 1 foot sections. Okay. So like this, I'll stick this underground. Okay. And I'll throw a bunch of them down there and just let them grow rogue and wild. And we'll see what they do. And then I'll take the tubers and maybe put the slips from the actual sweet potatoes. This is the harvest. I mean, that's horrendous. So I'll take the slips from those and put them on one side, and we'll see if there's a difference. So we'll put them here on this side over here, the slips, and we'll just do the rest as 1 foot cuttings instead of 3-inch and 4-inch cuttings like we did last year. Anyhow, folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. That helps the channel grow, and stay tuned because hopefully next year we're going to do much better than what you saw here. Have a great day.